Hi friends, welcome back. This is Solomon Jagwe. I hope everybody is doing well. Today I'm back with another quick insight and tutorial it has to do with the Hand Gestures Puppeteering 2.0. So guys, if you're new to my channel, I kindly ask that you spare a minute to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're alerted when I post a new video. And to everybody else that has subscribed, as always, thank you so much for your support. All right, so this was released not too far back by Reallusion, and the awesome thing is that it's actually free. This is a free plugin that you don't have to pay anything to use in iClone. Now today I'm gonna be talking about this plugin in relation to motion capture data. Okay, so most of you know, and for those of you who don't, is that the Perception Neuron suite comes in several flavors. Okay, on the high end, you have the Neuron Studio, Perception Neuron Studio, and this comes with gloves, so you get to capture both the full body and gloves, like finger capturing. Okay. And then after that, below that, right below that one is the Pro version. Okay. And this one, you can capture very good data. The only thing that is missing, not the only thing, because hardware wise, there are some changes between this and the studio version. But something missing in this one is there are no fingers. So you don't get gloves. So you really are not capturing finger tracking. And then below that, you have the Perception Neuron 2.0, and this one comes with gloves. So you're able to capture the finger tracking with this. Okay. So while I was thinking about that, I was like, okay, this is actually an awesome thing for if you have a budget and you really want to go above the Pro version, the 2.0 version, you want something that is less susceptible to magnetism, then you want to go with the Pro version. That's not as expensive as the studio version. Now, the trade-off is that you don't get gloves. Okay, so what do? And I think that's where this plugin comes in. This free plugin for iClone is that you're able to take your Perception Neuron Pro suite and the data, the motion capture data that you get, and use this to do the hand animation. Okay, so of course, if you can afford this, it's better to have gloves. They capture the finger tracking really well. And with the 2.0, there's still the issue of magnetism, right? Because as you can tell, like if you look at these neurons in the Pro version, they're encased, they're inside of a housing, whereas on the 2.0 version, the neurons are right on the outside. You can actually, they're closer to the surface, they're easier to pop out, right? This one, they're encased. And it's similar to the Perception Neuron Studio, is that they also are encased inside of that. Now, this is a much newer system. So hardware-wise, you're going to get something way more improved. And of course, and it's also protected from magnetism. So if you are not using this and you feel like this is it's too unstable, it's too susceptible to magnetism, then the Pro version, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to I'm laboring on trying to show the differences, but I'm trying to say that if you have a budget and you are in the middle area right there in terms of budget, but you're trying to get something that is less susceptible to magnetism, then the Pro suite will be the option. Now, what you don't get, of course, are the gloves. So that's why I'm saying that this is where it comes handy. And I'm going to walk you through how to use this plugin together with the Pro suite, the Perception Neuron Pro suite, so that you can find that's the solution to going around if you can't afford the gloves, is that iClone has made this possible for you to animate your hands. And as an animator, we are all familiar of how kind of challenging it is to always animate the hands because they have multiple bones that you have to animate. But fortunately, this plugin comes in. So how do you get this plugin? You go to the marketplace, right? And it's going to be in the software. This is the software marketplace.reallusion.com iClone. And then you go to the plugins. And in here, there are about over 40 plugins. I see 41 items on this page. So look for Hand Gestures Puppeteering 2.0. It has been updated recently. Okay, so click on that. And there's something that you need to keep in mind. Once you click buy, okay, so you notice there's no, there's 0. So if you have like points, you don't have to use anything. It's free. So click on buy, and it's added to, right now mine has already been added to the cart, but you can see it. Well, if you're brand new, when you click buy, it will be added to your cart and you get that message. So go to your cart over here, and you'll notice that it says proceed to checkout is disabled. Okay, and it's not using any of your points, or you could be using your points, or you could be using your credit card or PayPal, right? So to download it, it's not straightforward. You have to go to your inventory list. Even though here it says proceed to checkout is disabled, you need to go to your inventory list to be able to download this plugin. So click inventory list. And once it comes up, you can see all these free ones that I've added on here. But we'll scroll all the way down until we find the plugin. We'll go to the next one. Next page. And there it is. Okay, so once you get here, now you'll be able to see that you're able to download it. That's how you download this plugin and all of the other free plugins, as well as the ones that are paid. So click on download. Okay, it's going to be downloaded to your downloads folder. So simply click on, if you're using Chrome, just click show in folder, or just browse to your downloads folder. Okay, so we're going to need to put this inside of a folder for iClone. So let me minimize this. So what I suggest is that go to your icon that is on the desktop, or your iClone icon, right click on it, click on open file location. Okay, and in here there's going to be a folder called open plugin. Double click on it, and we'll go to the folder where we downloaded the plugin in the downloads, and we're going to right click on it and extract here. I'm using WinRAR to extract this. Okay, so there's the folder, and double click on it just to make sure that you can see all the files that are extracted. And then simply drag and drop, or in this case we're just moving, doesn't matter. You can hold down the control key to make a copy of it. So I'm going to move it here. Continue, if you get that a lot. So I've put it in this place, in the correct place. Now I need to start iClone. Double click on iClone, minimize that one there. And I'm using iClone 7.83. So just make sure that you update your iClone as well, and give it a few, suppose, minutes to install, rather to run, and we'll wait for it. So while that's going on, I'm actually gonna go ahead and bring up the Axis Neuron Pro. So there's the Axis Neuron. These are all free. That's the cool thing about the software for from Neuron, Mocap, and Noitom, is that all their software is free now. For Axis Studio, you can no longer use it just free. I mean, rather, you can no longer just download it and use it, because it requires a dongle. So chances are it's because it's a security issue, but they also want to make it exclusive to the Axis Studio users. I used to be able to test it with the mocap data to see how stable it is, but it's no longer the case. So this is the one we need. So I'm going to double click on it and open it. Sorry guys, I'm choking up here. Okay, so iClone is ready as well. So this is what we're going to be using. So first, let's go see if it actually installs. So you go to plugins. Sorry, yeah, go to plugins, go to Python samples, and then under there you find Hand Gestures Puppeteering. So if you click on it, it's gonna open up. So there it is. So that's how you know you've installed it correctly. And again, real quick, just to back up a little bit, you need to just right click on your icon, go to open file location, go to the open plugin, and this is where you copy and paste the plugin. So you can see Hand Gestures Puppeteering 2.0 over there. Okay. All right. So now that we have the plugin running, we need a character. So let me go in here, and I'm going to use some of my custom characters. These I created using, let's see, where is it going to be? Concept, not concept. Let's go to sci-fi, concept film. And let's use this guy right here, Male Trooper. Okay. And this guy, this character reminds me, I think it's inspired by Crytek, you know, that nano suit looking soldier. All right, we download the character is opening. And in the meantime, let me go back here. So this is data that I captured using the Perception Neuron Pro suite. And the program itself, you can see it doesn't have fingers, right? So which means that there's only body mocap. So if I actually zoom in here and play back the mouse can capture data, you can see the fingers are not moving. The hands are moving, but there's no finger data. So that is where this plugin comes in, is that if you have mocap that you've captured, and I have like 5-6 files here, and you don't have hand data because there are no gloves, you can use this data inside of iClone and then use the Hand Gestures Puppeteering. So let me walk you through how we can actually do this. Okay, the plugin is installed, we're ready to use it, but first we have to go to plugins again and start Motion Live. Okay, and we have to make sure the body of this character, make sure it's selected, and then switch to Perception Neuron, and then click on Perception Neuron. So now I can go back to the Perception Neuron Pro and turn on the loop right here. And you can also crop the animation where you want to start. So for example, if I didn't want to start where like I'm holding the mouse, and I say I wanted to start like right here, I simply drag the in point, right? So like maybe like right there, and then like right there, I can also drag the out point. And so when I play back, once it gets to the end here, it just loops on this segment of mocap data that we've set. Okay, that's how it's like trimming, giving it an in point, an end point, and then enabling the loop button here. So now if I go to iClone and click on preview and press spacebar, hold on, Perception Neuron here, and then just a second, let me make sure it's actually streaming because it looks like there's an issue with that. All right, guys, so here's a quick tip, and it's something I found out when I was trying to stream as well as do the puppeteering too. So it looks like when you try to connect the Perception Neuron Pro data into, and I think it applies to the 2.0 as well as the Studio Suite, that you can't run this Motion Live together with the hand gestures. So you have to record the data first and then run the hand gestures puppeteering. So we're going to go ahead and record our mocap data. So I'll go ahead and make sure I'm at the beginning here. Okay, and I'm going to go to iClone and press record and then press spacebar. So we'll let it go through and record. And it's looping, and I can go back here and see as we get closer to the end, I can go back to iClone and press the spacebar. Okay, so now we have the data coming in from the Pro suite, and we can close the Motion Live plugin. Okay, all right. So if this is going to be my endpoint, so I can bring up the timeline and make that the endpoint, and also so that's 1200. I can set my project to 1200 as well to fill out the timeline. All right, so if I rewind and play back, you can see the motion capture data is captured, and there's actually, the data is pretty stable. I mean, in terms of for the Pro suite, for those of you who have been wondering about the Pro suite, the data is pretty solid. It's actually good. So, and I mean, right now you can see how like the shoulders are. I can always go back to the very beginning of the mocap file, like maybe like right here, and I can fix the shoulders a little bit by going into edit motion layer. Just make sure the rotation is local rotate, and then I can move the shoulders up a little bit like that, and this one's a bit like that as well. Okay, and so if I play back, you can see the improvement, and you can also raise or lower them. Okay, so now that I know that my starting point is somewhere around here, so that T-pose is important if you're exporting the data, so you may want to keep that, but for purposes of this session, I'm gonna do the endpoint to be right here. So that's where we're gonna be starting from. Okay, so now the hands are missing finger tracking, and so we've recorded the mocap data from Axis Neuron Pro, and as you can tell, there's no finger data. Okay, so the beauty now is that with this free plugin from iClone, from Reallusion, sorry, I can go to plugins and make sure I'm at the very beginning for starters, plugins, then we go to Python samples, hand gesturing. All right. So there are several modes in here that you can do a 2-point mode or multi-point mode. 2-point means that you're moving from one point to this point, to this point, to this point. If you do multi-point, you can blend between the three of them. So if I press preview, for example, and we can zoom in here, and we're doing the right hand, which is for now we can just select right hand only or left hand only, depending on which one you want to do, right? So for now, if I just want to do the right hand, which is the hand that's over right here, I want to add some mocap data to it, which is really cool that you can actually isolate that, right? Okay, and so if I preview and press spacebar, now you can see how the fingers are. So he looks like he's actually typing something on the phone, you know, like, and you wait for the point where the hands come back together. So this is the beauty of this plugin, is that you can go between or among the different points, and these are all customizable. So you can replace those gestures with your own custom ones. Okay, so look at that. All right, so when you're ready, so for example, I can go from here, like when the hand, and actually you can see, I just press the spacebar. Hold on. So if I rotate here, so if he's holding the phone and he's typing on the phone, we would need to update, move this hand a little bit. So I'll go to edit motion layer. Let's go to the right hand. And I can move the right hand over a little bit more. So, and it's always helpful to have a prop in there. So if I had the phone, I would actually be able to show you exactly where he is on the screen, but I can just drag in here, and I'm in IK mode, which is beautiful. And I can raise it up a little bit like that. So if I play back, So I still feel like the hand is far from the phone. So now I can actually take this hand, again, making sure that I'm at the beginning, and move the hand a little bit more like that. So if he's going to be on the phone, let's play back. Okay. So maybe he's scrolling on a tablet. Okay. So with time, you can definitely put in effort and then, edit all the nuances there. But the cool thing there is that now, if I rewind and his hand is over the screen, if I preview, I can get an idea of when to do the finger, like he's tapping on the screen, right? Or his fingers are folding and he's tapping like that. So that is the beauty of the hand gestures puppeteering, is that you can add the nuances that you would have done with a glove. So if you can't afford the gloves for the Perception Neuron Studio, this is a really good option to use. So let me actually record. So let me plan. So when it gets here, we can use the pointing, this little gesture right here. And if the gesture in here doesn't match what you want, you can actually use this right here and customize. So for example, if I'm using the right hand, you can see that I can actually pause the hand like that, and I can actually move these hands like this, right? So if that's the gesture I want, then I can go to click on this pointing right here and then replace with right hand gesture. And you can tell that it has the gizmo in there, so it does a capture. It captures the hand the way it's pointing. So I'll need if you want better light, you may need like better lighting to get the right tool, right preview. So replace with right hand gesture, and you can see how it actually captures the fingers. So if you want to see it better, you can move it a little bit more, right click, replace with hand gesture, and then maybe zoom out so they can tell that that's the right hand. Okay, so now I can go back and preview. Actually, if we may have to reset. So I'll reset the thing. Sorry, not that. We'll go to the right hand and do not that, not default. We want to reset the fingers the way they were before, right? And I'm doing something wrong. I should actually be on this frame right here. Okay. So now that I've created my custom finger right here, so if I record and press spacebar, now I can go in and you can see it blending between the one that we did. And so that's how you can use the ones that are pre-built or the ones that are custom, like right there. And it's recording up to the very end. And then we can press spacebar and stop. So now if I rewind and I look back, let's zoom in a little bit more and play back our animation. So we've been able to add finger motion to the mocap data on the right hand, and you can do it for both hands. Like, so the left hand is holding, but you can update that as well, like once he puts the phone away. But you can see the animation on the right hand captured nicely onto your mocap data that you captured using the Perception Neuron Pro, and recorded into Axis Neuron Pro, right? So gone are the days when you felt like if you had a Perception Neuron Pro, you are kind of stuck. You will be able to do your finger animation using this hand gestures puppeteering to add nuances to your character. So guys, I hope that was helpful. It was a little bit lengthy, but my hope is that guys, you don't give up on using the Perception Neuron Pro because it has no gloves and it doesn't offer finger tracking. you can indeed use the hand gestures puppeteering to record hand gestures and animation, finger animation onto your character. Now, there's a lot more that goes into this plugin. Like, it has other presets. So, for example, if you have like a female character, you can open that and it resets, and you can go back to the male hand gestures as well. So if you feel like you've reset, if you didn't like the reset that I did, you can go back to the default one. And I believe there's also the default, and you can load that. So those are the different options that you have. And you can also say, if you've changed it, you can save and create your own profile and say custom mine and then save. Okay. And that, when you go back to load, now you have your own and gestures settings that you can use. Okay. So guys, please give it a chance, give it a try. It is a free plugin. Can you imagine, how you can still get, if you can't afford the Perception Neuron Studio, but you can afford the Perception Neuron Pro because you want to get more stable data and a suit that is less susceptible to magnetism. So this is the studio suit, and you can see how beautiful it looks. But in between there, in the mid-level, there's the pro version that doesn't offer gloves, right? But has very stable data, and also it's less susceptible to magnetism. And you have this plugin, the Hand Gestures plugin, that you can combine the two of them to get this kind of animation, and you can customize it to any way you want. So I hope that I hope that was helpful, guys. Dare to dream big. Don't give up on your dream, whatever you do, and please stay safe, guys. Much love, and thank you so much for your support. See you next time with another insight and then tutorial. Spare a minute to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and stay blessed, friends. Bye for now.